The ability to beat a man with the ball at your feet continues to be highly regarded. Although the concept of the old-fashioned winger who hugged the touchline and ended up with chalk on his boots has largely gone out of the game. However, dribbling remains one of the most difficult of all skills to master, which is why those who have excelled at it have always been highly regarded. Without further ado, here are the top 10 dribblers of all time.
Real Madrid, but they have to show that, they have to prove that. That's great play.
But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon to get the latest updates. Now let's get started. Number 10. Stanley Matthews. Among Matthews' various nicknames were the Magician and the Wizard of the Dribble. In an era where the balls were much heavier than they are now, Matthews' close control, pace and ability to beat defenders made him almost impossible to play against sometimes. He was a fine crosser of the ball and fundamentally unselfish, always willing to set up a teammate rather than go for glory himself. Ironically, he won his only major honour with Blackpool in 1953, when they came from behind to beat Bolton in the FA Cup final. It became known as the Matthews Final, even though Stan Mortensen scored a hat-trick. That's because it was Matthews on the right wing causing so many problems for the Bolton defence. Number 9. George Best. At his peak, there was no finer sight than George Best in a Manchester United shirt. Featuring primarily as a right winger, although he was naturally two-footed, his game combined pace, balance, feints, close control, and a whole array of tricks to beat defenders with ease. He used the inside and outside of both feet, which allowed him to quickly change direction to avoid tackles and create space to pass or shoot. A Ballon d'Or winner, Best scored 179 goals in 470 appearances for United, and now the airport in Belfast, Northern Ireland, is named after one of the country's favourite sons. Number 8. Zinedine Zidane. A natural talent, Zidane was an elegant, technically gifted midfielder capable of producing the extraordinary on a regular basis.
Here's Zidane on the right side.
He's probably the player with the best ball control ever. With such mastery of the ball, he didn't need to be the quickest or have the best acceleration. He could get out of difficult situations easily. Zidane has also got his own move named after him, the Zidane Roulette. It's a 360 turn he perfected and used most effectively of all players. Number 7. Cristiano Ronaldo. Before he evolved into a goal-scoring machine of a forward, Cristiano Ronaldo began his career as a right winger, where he distinguished himself with his pace, trickery and array of skills, and step-overs. Oh, so many step-overs. In his early days, he earned the reputation of being a show pony because he had a tendency to want to beat the same man twice just to prove he could do it. However, once that was ironed out of his game, he used his skills to devastating effect, creating numerous chances for his team and also himself. Even at the age of 37, although the electric pace and maybe some of the spark he once possessed may not be there, he can still dribble past most players. Number 6. Ronaldo Nazario. When he first burst onto the scene, the Brazilian forward was renowned for his ability to take on defenders and burst past them, using not only his speed and physicality, but also his skill and close control with the ball at his feet. He was a particular master of the step-over, often catching opponents off guard and prompting them to lunge in ill-advisedly. And of course there were the poor goalkeepers. In fact, I'll let you in on a little secret here. There's an urban myth that says that Luca Marchigiani still hasn't got up from Ronaldo leaving him on his arse in the '98 UEFA Cup final. It could be wrong, please don't sue us. Unfortunately, a series of injuries robbed him of a yard or two of pace later, but he never lost his dribbling ability and was very difficult to dispossess once on the ball. Number 5. Johan Cruyff. Cruyff's dribbling skill was so immense that he also has a special move named after him. Playing for the Netherlands in the 1974 World Cup against Sweden, he received the ball on the left wing, but facing his own goal, he feigned a pass inside before dragging the ball behind his standing leg, turning 180 degrees before accelerating away. This is of course the Cruyff turn. So difficult is the manoeuvre to pull off that although many have tried it, few have come close to emulating it. But that was typical of the way that the Dutchman could keep the ball close at his feet and used his brain as much as his speed to beat his man and set up an attack. Number 4. Ronaldinho. The winner of 2 successive Ballon d'Ors, there was a period where Ronaldinho literally had the world at his feet when he was playing for Barcelona. So complete was his mastery of the art that he rarely looked at the ball when dribbling. Instead, he would watch the leg movements of the man facing him, waiting for the right moment to beat him.
Ronaldinho, catch him if you can. There it is, he says.
He would also make sure that he was close enough to his opponent so that he didn't have time to recover once beaten. One swivel of the hips and a burst of acceleration, and he was away. Number 3. Garrincha. The fact he was nicknamed the King of Dribbles exemplifies what a master of the art Garrincha, or the little bird, was. Some said he could make the ball talk with his feet, and he had a touch of arrogance about him as well. Not content with having beaten a man once, he would sometimes do it several times over, both for his own entertainment and that of the crowd. He would use sudden acceleration to ghost past players, or turn to one of his numerous tricks and feints to throw them off balance. Arguably his greatest moments came in the World Cup of 1962, when, with Pelé injured, he helped lead the team to victory in Chile. Number 2. Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi is one of the finest exponents of the art of dribbling currently playing today, even if he has yet to produce for PSG the form that he showed for many years for Barcelona. There would often be times where he would start runs from virtually the halfway line, receiving the ball on the right wing and cutting inside on his left foot. He would then use his low centre of gravity, athleticism and speed over the ground to twist first one way, then the other, often leaving defenders trailing in his wake. He scored many fine individual goals in that manner, but he's always prepared to play an assist if he thinks a teammate is in a better shooting position. And at number 1, it's Diego Maradona. Maradona had such an array of prodigious gifts that it's difficult to single out just one, but his dribbling ability was second to none. He too also has a signature move, and it's a roulette just like Zidane's, but a slightly different variation. A small man with a low centre of gravity, which allowed him to manoeuvre better than most players, he was very hard to knock off the ball or dispossess, despite his stature. He would look at the opponents rather than the ball, while he often controlled it with the bottom of his boot. Almost as fast with the ball as without, he would often accelerate in the middle of a run. 2 of the most famous goals he ever scored came in back-to-back matches for Argentina at the World Cup in 1986. We won't talk about his first goal against England, but his second one in that quarter-final, as he dribbled half the length of the pitch and beat 6 men, was labelled as the goal of the century, and his goal against Belgium was almost equally good a few days later in the semi-finals. Well, there are loads of players that we probably have missed in this list, and the likes of Pelé, Rivellino, Thierry Henry and Andres Iniesta definitely deserve mentions. If there's anyone else you think we missed, let us know in the comments below. As ever, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.